Welcome to the premiere of Cabrini. We are so excited to be here tonight. We're going to be talking with the talent, the filmmakers, and there will be so many more things for you tonight. My name's Allie Barlow. I'm your host.
And I'm your co-host, Micah Van Sickle, and we have so much in store, just like you said, but we need to do one thing, just to check it off. Do you have your Cabrini tickets? It's very important. Because why?
Important.
It comes out tomorrow. The movie comes out tomorrow. Theaters are filling up. You need to get your ticket right now. I have my ticket. Do you have your ticket?
I have my tickets.
We're locked in. But we've actually made it even better for you to get your ticket right now because during this live stream, we're actually running a BOGO sale. That's right. A buy one, get one sale. Ellie, do you want to tell them how you can get that BOGO?
Yes, go online right now, angel.com/BOGO, and you'll just go right online and there will be a discount waiting for you.
Yeah, automatically applied. Just angel.com/BOGO. Only for tonight. Get it before the live stream ends.
Not only can you get a BOGO deal on your tickets tonight, but we will also be giving away a Premiere merch bundle for somebody that buys tickets during this live stream.
What is in this Premiere merch bundle?
Well, let me tell you all about it. You will get the We Are Bold hat.
Wow.
There's the sticker set.
That's so cool. What is that? Is that a candle? A Cabrini candle?
Yes, a candle. It's so cool. And then there's a poster. You'll get a tote, the Cabrini cuff bracelet in silver.
And a t-shirt.
Wow.
So pretty much what you're saying is you are going to be set to go to the Cabrini movie. You're going to be the coolest person at the theater.
Oh, 100%.
You're going to be decked out in Cabrini merch.
That is exactly what I'm saying.
That's really cool.
So those of you that buy tickets during this live stream, not only do you get that BOGO deal, but you are entering to win this merch bundle. You do need to be 18 years or older to win, but we will announce the winner a little bit later on.
Yeah, right at the end. So before people start arriving, we thought we'd start with something really cool. So you might have been seeing on social media and everything else like that, Cabrini has been releasing a bunch of different musical trailers.
Yes.
I know we had a live stream kind of diving into that. It was really cool.
Yeah.
But we thought we'd take, the beginning of this live stream to show you one of my personal favorites, which is the Mariah Carey Heroes trailer. It's really impactful, and I think you're going to love it.
It's awesome. Let's go.
Shall we begin? My sisters. If we are to build an empire of hope, we must first conquer New York.
Open your eyes. This is who we've come to serve.
This is not a place for you.
Would you be kind enough to take us to our orphanage?
And then a hero comes along.
Now we need to feel it with children.
To carry on.
This was the door to my home.
Cast your fears aside.
You can do all things.
No, you can't survive.
All things in him who strengthens us.
Do people know that in America, the greatest nation on earth, rats have it better than the children of the immigrant?
Be careful, mother, or this place will eat you alive.
The doctors tell me 5 years.
2.
In that case, I should not overcome.
You have swatted the hornet's nest. This is about the kind of New York we want.
Bisogna avere tanto coraggio per scoprire cosa siamo pronti ad essere.
We are all children of God.
Get out!
And you dismiss us at your own peril. And then a hero comes.
I speak for the immigrant
With the strength
who wager everything on America. I speak for those little girls abandoned to the streets, for their fathers who die alone in ghettos. A word of hope, a touch, a medicine of a loving hand. These are the things that change the world.
finally see the truth.
Your Holiness. The world is too small for what I intend to do.
That a hero lies in you.
I love that trailer so much. Guys, I'm so excited for you to see this movie. And if you haven't noticed, Mike is gone. He actually started interviewing people because they showed up while you were watching that trailer. I'm going to go interview a few people as well. while you're waiting for that, go online, get your tickets, angel.com/BOGO to get that deal. We will also be entering you to win the merch bundle. So let's go interview some people.
So I'm here with Rod Barr, screenwriter for Cabrini. And Rod, how are you doing tonight?
I'm doing great. It's a thrill to be here.
It's wonderful to see all these creatives, all these wonderful people here to celebrate a movie that you wrote.
Yes.
How does that feel?
Oh, it's amazing. It's a thrill to be anywhere for a premiere, but to have a movie about New York and to be here in New York for the screening is really very, very special because it is such a New York movie. And actually, most of it happens not far from where we are at all.
Yeah, what is it? Like 5 Points is 5 miles south or something?
I don't think, I'm sure it's less than 5 miles south. It's very, very close to here. So we are very close to where this story actually happens, which is super cool.
That is really cool. Yeah. A question about the whole writing process. Was there any part of Cabrini's life that was difficult to bring to the page, or you had an issue like adapting, like, oh, people aren't going to believe this, or anything like that?
Well, I think the biggest challenge was to compress because her story is so sprawling. She did so many things over so many years that the challenge was how do we take that story and make it into something that feels like a movie and not sort of a series of plot points along a huge biography. So we decided to set it all in New York, or most of it in New York, which is when she fought the most intense battle. It was when she met the most resistance. And so it's usually those are the things that are the most dramatic and most interesting. That was the biggest challenge.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And as far as like the audience viewing this film, as a writer, what do you want these people to leave the theater feeling? What do you want them leaving to apply to their own lives, to their own souls?
Well, it's a difficult question, but I think the main thing is determination. She had to overcome so many things. There were so many things against her. She was a woman in a man's world. She was a sickly woman who wasn't supposed to live another couple of years. She was an Italian in a country where Italians were the lowest of the low. And she was a Catholic in a country where Catholics were considered second class. So she was almost she had a triple set of things set against her. But she didn't let it stop her. She made sure that she continued to serve the people that she loved. She was like a mother protecting her children. And her children happened to be all of the immigrants in America. So it was an enormous mission, but the determination necessary to make it happen, I think, is something really special. The other thing I would say in terms of message is unity, is sort of, she believed and acted upon transcendent truths that they are Christian, of course, but they're also just human. And so the things that tend to divide us right now, she transcends those things because we actually all do agree on these principles. I don't care if you're right, left, center, or from another planet, you're going to agree on certain basic principles, and she embodies and puts those in action. So I hope that's what people come away with.
I 100% agree. I feel like this film, Cabrini's story, is like a tall glass of cold water to our culture.
Yeah.
It's something that we need to hear, and thank you so much for the work you've done.
My pleasure,
and
Micah.
Thank you for talking to me. I appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you
Rock.
so much. Thank you.
Back to you, Allie.
Hey guys, I'm here with Cristiana Delana. She plays Mother Cabrini. Thank you for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me. This is very exciting. I've never seen such a loud crowd in my life. It's great. It really feels like a warm embrace. I'm loving it.
Well, you are so wonderful at playing the part. What was it like for you when you found out that you were going to play Francesca?
I actually was very proud because I didn't know much about her, but the moment I started researching her life and all she's done and the legacy she's left behind, I just thought to myself, I was very lucky because this is a one-in-a-lifetime opportunity, so I was over the moon.
That's amazing. What was the process like trying to learn about her? Did you have to do research? What was that process like for you?
I did a lot of research, actually, yeah. A lot of books, a lot of historical research as well to make sure that I was going to do a good job, and I was faithful to who she was, obviously. But then I think a very important part of my preparation was that I had to be very much in touch with my inner self to leave some space for her to inhabit me. And normally it doesn't happen like that for me. It's the other way around. I would always have to reach out for the character. But this time around, it was her coming to me.
Amazing. That's wonderful. Well, you did such a good job. What was your favorite moment on set?
I don't know if I have a favorite moment. I do believe the whole journey was amazing, an amazing experience. I have memories of set and outside set that I shared with all the cast and crew that I'm very fond of. Definitely I would say the scene in the Senate is probably my favorite because it was so empowering and so also theatrically shot that in a way that I had to do the whole scene over and over again without any cuts in between. So by the end of the day, I was exhausted, but it also extremely fulfilled.
That is such a powerful scene. That's cool that it was one shot like that. Good work.
Thank you.
Is there anything that you hope that viewers will take away from this movie?
I'm sure anyone can relate to this movie in some kind of way because this is a story that speaks to everybody. If there is probably one thing I would love for everybody to take home with them is the example that she set and how her beliefs and her values transformed into action. I just want them to remember that because there's always something we can do to make the world a bit better. She said the bar was very high. She set the bar really, really high. So, and then they just have to enjoy it, and I just hope that they will like what I did because that's, also I get scared because, I want to, yeah, of course I do. I want people to like it, so why not? So anyway, yeah.
Well, everybody that I know that has seen it so far thinks that you did incredible, so great job. And thank you for chatting with me for a little bit.
Oh, it was my pleasure, my pleasure.
Back to you, Micah.
Okay, so we have Leo Severino here, the producer of Cabrini. And Leo, do you mind introducing me to this young lady?
This is my lovely daughter, Mina Severino, who plays young Cabrini in the film. I'm so proud of her.
Yeah, I remember you mentioning that on a past live stream, as that was one of the most powerful things in Cabrini for you, was your daughter playing young Cabrini. That's so cool, the story on how that just worked out. And it's amazing that it's like you were cast. It was perfectly aligned to where it's you look exactly like a younger Cabrini would. What was that experience being on set and being like, hey, why don't you play young Cabrini?
It was really amazing, but honestly really shocking. I'd never done an acting role before, so I was just like, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is so incredible.
Oh, that is so cool. And one question that we've been asking everyone who's been going through this red carpet is, what was the first time you heard about Mother Cabrini? And what was your reaction to her story when you first heard about her?
Well, quite frankly, the first time I heard about it was when Eustace Wolfington, our executive producer, called me about making the film. He said, I want to make a film about Mother Cabrini. I said, Mother who? And then he explained to me who she was, and I was just blown away. What about you, Mina? When was the first time you heard?
Well, I read the script, and I was just so wowed by her story, and everything she did was so beautiful.
And Leo, a question for you. As the producer, of course, you make these creative things to affect culture, to really put out a message and something else like that, to make beautiful, beautiful art. What do you want the audience to take away from a film like Cabrini? What do you want them to leave the theater and take into their own lives?
Well, I think it's the same thing that Angel Studios wants from all of our films, which is to amplify light. And in this story in particular, there's one line that Mother Cabrini lived her life by, and I think it's applicable to all of us, and that is, you can either serve your weakness or your purpose, but not both. She had this incredible determination, and she had so many obstacles she had to overcome, including her own frailties and her mortality. She was only given a couple years to live. She never let that stop her. She just thought, if God is sending me to do something, I'm going to do it. And if it's the right thing to do, I'm going to do it. And she just drove. And hopefully that's what this film inspires in people.
That's amazing. And just one final quick fun question. So it's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. But you can see the water scenes. What was that like? Was it scary? Because for me, I kind of that seemed a little scary. What was that like?
It was a little terrifying, to be honest, but it was quite enjoyable, actually, to be in the water and just to do that sort of acting was a really unique experience. So I was really glad to be able to do that.
Thank you both so very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, you have a wonderful night.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey guys, I'm here with David Morse, who plays Archbishop Kerrigan. Thank you so much for being here. I would love to know what it was about the script that drew you in and interested you to play the part.
Well, I think a part of it is, like a lot of people, we didn't know a lot about Mother Cabrini, and her story is remarkable. And it's beautifully written. I mean, it's just beautifully told. And then, I'm being asked to do a character, so obviously I got my eye on the character. And at first I had to, you can see in the movie, it's kind of challenging. Yeah. And then by the time you get to the end, he has really come around. It's a pretty good journey. So, yeah, I liked it a lot.
I also love that. I feel like, every character kind of had their almost like sub-story within the movie. And I really loved your characters, kind of how it came around, like you were saying. I thought that was, very, very cool. How did you prepare for the role?
Well, first I tried to find anything I could about, the real Archbishop, and went from there. And it was actually very helpful to see things from his point of view in a way, because he was a bishop with his own agenda. He was trying to get things done, and this nun comes in and messes things up for him. So it was helpful just to get his point of view, yeah, but also just understanding that he was a politician as much as anything else, and she kind of changed that in him. Still a politician, but she woke him up. Yeah, yeah.
Is there anything that you're hoping that the audience gets from the film, that they take away from watching the film?
Well, listen, there's no point to doing this if they aren't going to see a great movie and a great story. And that's first, till they get that. And they're definitely going to get that. Yeah, and I think, just the experience I've had at the different screenings, and I've been to a couple of them now, and the Q&As after, and listen to people talk, there's no doubt that people are going to be moved, just moved by the movie, but moved to feel like they need to do something more. It's really inspiring. Yeah.
Thank you so much for chatting with me for a minute. It was a pleasure to meet you. Back to you, Micah.
So we're here with Eugenia Forteza, who played one of the sisters in Mother Cabrini's Coven. And we're just going to have a few questions for you. I think the first question is, everyone, we love to know this. When was the first time you heard about Mother Cabrini, and what was your reaction to her story when you first heard it?
Yeah, so I live in Washington Heights, uptown New York. So I had seen the name Cabrini uptown in some streets, but I didn't know her story. So actually when I auditioned for the movie and, was preparing for the role, I kind of began investigating, and I visited the Cabrini Shrine that's close to my apartment a bunch of times. And yeah, so it was once I was introduced to the movie and the role that I really got to know her.
That's really cool. I love how it just adds the impact to the environment you're surrounded in. It's like, oh, Cabrini Boulevard and everything else like that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Also, I would love to know, Cabrini is very much known for her work with the poor and the orphans and everything else like that. But I'd love to ask you a question about how she affected her sisters, and how not only her mission was for the orphans and everything else like that, but it was to grow strong women with her sisters. to really allow them to grow and to help and serve others. Do you think this film is something that young women can see and be like, oh, wow, Cabrini makes me want to grow and to be more bold, to be stronger? Do you see this film having that sort of impact for young women?
Absolutely. I mean, in part of my research, I learned that Cabrini she specifically picked women and sisters that were underdogs, that had been rejected from other orders. So it was a group of women who, were facing challenges already. And then we all became very close. I especially became really close friends with Cristiana, and we shared that kind of sisterhood. We kept in touch during these years while the movie was getting edited. And absolutely, I think this movie is so inspiring for all girls, all women out there, because we all face health challenges, all sorts of challenges in life, and Cabrini is proof that you can overcome and keep going,
And final question for you. What would you like the audience, the people going to see Cabrini, what would you like them to take from this film? To leave the theater and go out and live their lives in a certain way. What would you like them to take from Mother Cabrini's story?
Well, that you shouldn't give up. You should always, if you believe in something, you should keep knocking on those doors until you get the answer you want. And to surround yourself with people who are your team, who believe the things you believe and that you can share that mission with, and that are going to support you, and that you're not alone. You don't have to do it alone.
Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And Allie, back to you.
Hey guys, I'm here with Jonathan Sanger. He's a producer on the film Cabrini. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Couldn't be more excited. This is one of the best evenings, I can tell you. It really is so exciting. And I've made a lot of movies, but there's nothing like this one. I think, and I'm sure everyone will say that, but I really mean it. I mean, this movie for me was the most exciting experience I've had ever, I think. I mean, I've made some movies that I'm very proud of, but I'm especially proud of this one.
That's amazing.
Excited. Yeah.
Good. What was your, I know favorites are hard, but what was one of your favorite moments working with Cabrini, or on Cabrini?
Well, actually, I would have to say having the opportunity to work with Cristiana, because Cristiana was somebody that we didn't know, none of us knew. And when she came in, she so embodied the character of Cabrini that it was like a huge weight was lifted off us, because we knew we had a big responsibility in a movie like this, and we were looking at all kinds of major stars that might have done it, but we really knew that it had to be somebody who was Italian for sure, spoke the language, but beyond that, had to have the spirit and soul of Cabrini. And there wasn't anything quite like getting to know Cristiano, who has now become a great friend of mine. I mean, we're very close friends. We're planning to do other projects together, so that it's really been a tremendous, exciting thing. I mean, I will say, also, shooting up in Buffalo, I had already done a movie up there before, and I brought the crew up there because they had not seen it, and I said, I think this is the place we ought to do it. And it worked out, so I'm very excited about all that. It was a great, very, very solid experience for all of us. We had a great crew, wonderful, wonderful actors, right down the line, everybody in the cast. Our casting director's here tonight, and she's brilliant. So, Denise, well, two of them, actually, Denise Shamian and Julie Schubert, and they're both extraordinary, and they did an unbelievable job, because every single part was solid. There wasn't anybody. Sometimes you see these kinds of movies where the local people aren't so good. In this movie, everybody was terrific. No weak links. That's exactly right. So we're very, very excited about the whole thing, and I'm thrilled to be here tonight and have a chance to thank Angel. Of all things, I mean, I can't imagine anybody could have handled this movie any better. I mean that, and we were toying and trying to figure out who we were going to go with, and I think the passion of the people from Angel, certainly from the Harmon brothers, they all were totally passionate from the beginning, and that gave us the sense that this was something we had to do. So we're really, really thrilled it happened.
Well, we are also really glad to be working with you. So
Well,
thank you so much.
I'll keep it going, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Lovely to talk to you.
I'll help give you context. This guy, when you hear stuff that makes you feel like you're in that place,
Yes.
it's Nathan. So when it feels immersive, when you're hearing things from all over this Atmos theater tonight, Nathan designed all of that stuff. So I cannot overstate how important this guy was to what this thing is, what this experience is. He's the real deal, and you are interviewing a rock star and a legend.
What a beginning to an interview, man! Like, well, I have to ask you a question on top of that.
I know.
Let's see if we can top it. Let's see if we can.
Yeah.
So I guess in that same vein,
Yeah.
was there a sound or anything else like that that was difficult due to it being a period piece?
Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of aspects of doing a period movie where, you know, you just can't use off-the-shelf things. And so actually there's a whole set of sounds that we created for the movie using Foley, but we actually did something we'd never done before, which is that we actually went and rented all the props from the actual production, because all the props were rented in LA from a company that specializes in historical props. So we actually went and got all those props, and the Foley artists worked with the actual lanterns and buckets, and so you're getting, you know, the literal sounds of the objects that were used by Christiana, by Cabrini in the movie are used in our Foley and in our sound design. Yeah, so that was one area, because, you know, like finding that lantern that's just that specific quality and has a specific sound, for instance, you know. There's a couple other sounds I really love. If you listen really close in the movie, Cabrini wears a cross around her neck, and the Foley artist did a whole pass with just the cross when you hear the cross just move a little bit. And so, yeah, if you listen really close at times of the movie, you'll hear Cabrini's cross moving just a little bit. So that's a really, and it's really a great example of the level of detail we worked at in this movie. This is hands down, I've done 150 feature films. This is the most sound we've ever put into a movie, the most Foley we've ever put into a movie. It is just a blockbuster level of design and mixing. I mixed the movie with John Ross, who's a legendary mixer, worked with David Lynch and worked with David O. Russell, and he was an amazing person to work with. He kind of tackled the music and the score while I tackled the dialogue and the effects for the final mix. But yeah, we couldn't be more proud of the work we did on this movie. It's so rich. There's so many layers to it. It's just like, it's like a feast of sound. And so I'm so excited for people to see it, and, you know, thrilled.
Well, now I just want to watch it and just like listen for that cross rubbing up against it. I want to do the whole movie over again just to listen for those things.
And tonight we're actually watching it here at the Regal in Dolby Atmos, which is this modern mixing format. It has, in this room, I think it has 64 speakers surrounding the audience, and, you know, Atmos is such an amazing tool because it lets us create these immersive environments, and, you know, we really kind of just, what ultimately it does is it makes the experience, you know, we think of Atmos often in like Star Wars or like action movies, but the thing is, in a movie like Cabrini, it really lets us really build this immersive world, and it brings the audience into the experience that she was having at this time, and, you know, the chaos of New York in 5 Points, and, you know, also just the kind of majesty of some of the moments in the movie they're enhanced by the Atmos mix. So I'm thrilled we get to watch it here tonight. I hear it's going to be out in a lot of theaters in Atmos as well. And then but that being said, the 5.1 mix that's going to be out in thousands of theaters is also fantastic. So
that is so cool. So everyone, March 8th, get your tickets. And now you know all these mini sound Easter eggs. Listen for them. I'm going to. I'm definitely going to be listening for them. But thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Hi guys, I'm here with Eustace Wolfington. How are you doing tonight?
Very good, thank you.
Good. So what was it about this story that made you want to help bring it to the big screen?
Well, I always had a great devotion to Mother Cabrini, but I didn't want to bring it to the big screen.
No.
I was asked by a nun to do the movie, I turned her down for 6 years. And finally, she invited me to New York to meet an Italian film company. They were going to do the movie. I looked up what they were going to do, and I said, no, you can't do that. I said, we have to do a Gandhi movie. He was a Hindu and didn't get in the way. She's a nun, they can't get in the way. We got a movie of a great woman who just happened to be a nun. And it can be no preaching. It has to be appeal to Muslims, Hindus. The whole world has to fall in love with this woman. And that was the premise on which we did it.
That's amazing. That's amazing. So there is a photo that we just love where you are there with the whole team and you're in the middle. How did that feel? How was it just being involved in this film?
Well, you know, it's kind of like, it kind of just happens, you know, you start, you don't know where you're going to end up, and you just try and do everything the best you can do it, and don't cut corners, and keep everybody excited and enthused, and that's what it is, you know? So I couldn't really tell you what I felt like.
Yeah.
I said, because it was a whole process.
Yeah. That's
right,
amazing.
yeah.
That's incredible. So what do you hope that people get from the movie when they see it? What's something you hope they take away from the film?
Well, you know, I say that every generation of film comes along that catches the spirit of the times. And Cabrini is that movie for today. I mean, with the broken world we're in, and with people coming into the film so upset about what's going on in the world, and leaving so excited about life again. So that to me, that transformation that takes place when people come to the film is what makes it all worthwhile. And I think that'll hold true for generations and generations, because their life was such a humanitarian, it was just 100,000%. And every moment of her life was dedicated. And people understand that. And it makes them want to do better and gives them hope. So I'm hoping that for generation to generation, this film will give people hope, let them realize there's no obstacles they can't overcome, and just be inspired to be the best they can be. That's my dream.
That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for putting so much heart into this. We appreciate it. It's a beautiful film.
Okay, thank you.
Back to you, Micah.
Okay, so we have two Harmon brothers here, Neil and Jordan, so we thought we might as well have two interviews at the same time. It just makes more sense. Let's just get them through. Yeah. So
we're all about efficiency.
Yeah, 100%. So our first question actually is about the Guild. So Cabrini passed the Guild with flying colors. And the question is, for the live stream audience at home, what is the Guild? And secondly, what do you think the Guild saw in Cabrini?
So anybody in the audience can join the Guild. That's the good news. And everybody in the Guild gets a vote. So anything that comes through Angel was voted for by the Guild members. And there's about 250,000 Guild members, and we invite you to join the movement. Nothing gets through Angel without your stamp of approval.
As for what they saw in it, I guess that's for the Guild to decide, but what we saw in it was that this is a film that has, I believe, the potential to be like Frank Capra created with It's a Wonderful Life. Also, you know, another film that comes to mind is Life is Beautiful, where it's a masterpiece that changes generation after generation after generation, and it's a timeless movie.
Is there anything that you guys are hoping people get from the movie when they watch it?
I hope that people can walk out and be able to look internally and say, what can I do for the world? And how can I impact the world on a regular basis? We all have gifts, we all have talents that God has given us, and this film inspires people to walk out and say, how can I use my gifts and my talents to help people around me?
You know, sometimes I feel like life's really tough and that I'm going through a lot. And watching a film like Cabrini with her physical ailments and what she still did in spite of them, in fact, how those ailments drove her, I realized that our challenges in life can be actually an impetus and and a motivator. And it just makes it that much easier to take on whatever it is I'm taking on, or whatever anyone in the audience is taking on. They'll feel more able to take on their challenges after seeing Cabrini's example.
Thank
That's
you
great.
guys so much for sharing
Thank
your
you both
thoughts.
so much. I
We
appreciate it.
appreciate you. So music plays a huge part in the emotions of a film. What are you hoping that the music in this film portrays to the audience? What do you hope that they feel from it?
Just I think the North Star would be for people to feel the emotion that the characters are feeling, that what you see is what you feel musically, and that, what you aren't seeing on screen, you are feeling emotionally through the music. And so ultimately that would be the dream for people to feel that emotion without even realizing it or being aware of it.
That's awesome. I've seen it, and I felt like it did that for me. You did a really good. I'm a fan. Good job. What was your favorite part about working on Cabrini?
Favorite part working on Cabrini? That's a hard question because there's a lot. But, being given the opportunity to write music that is so classically driven, it's not something that you really hear every day, and it's not something that a composer gets tasked to do every day, to glean from some of your favorite music you grew up listening to, in the classical sense. And so it was just such a dream to write that kind of music for this type of story, and, and the opera elements in it too. It's actually very meaningful for me personally because my father teaches opera. And so I actually grew up my entire life listening to Italian opera. And so much of what you hear in the score is directly influenced by my childhood, my entire life journey, in music. And so that was so meaningful and purposeful to bring that into this story.
That's amazing. And it's so cool for us to know that. I feel like the music itself, it brings a ton of emotion, but also to know that it's a step further because it's from your life growing up.
It's from the heart, it's from a personal place. And so, what you feel it comes from a very deep place. Yeah.
That's incredible. Well, you did a fantastic job. Thank you so much for talking to me for a minute today. Thanks, guys. Back to you, Micah.
Then you will see it in the movie. Everybody see the movie, and it's awesome because you can see how I was running for my life. Because, if it was depending on me, the life of you'll see it, and it was just so strong and emotional that when I saw it, my jaw dropped. My jaw dropped. It was amazing, and working with Alejandro was beautiful because he. Every experience gives you that plus more. It gives you always more and more, and even Alejandro gave me more.
Very important, I told him, if you don't do this right, we have no movie. You are the opening of the film.
Yes.
And he was able to carry the movie in his shoulders.
Thank you very much.
That's lovely. So just the final question for both of you. So March 8th, so many people are going to be seeing this film and leaving the theater. What would you like them to leave the theater with? What would you like the film Cabrini, the story of Cabrini, to give to the audience members? We'll start with you, Alejandro.
Very important. I want them to leave wanting to share her message, meaning to tell other people to come see the film.
Yes.
It's that simple. Her life shine a light in the world. This movie shines a light in her life. And it's very important that after the audiences finish watching the movie, only if they love the movie, to go and at least tell 10 people about it. Because we are competing against big films like Dune. They have $200 million budgets for marketing. Our billboards is the audience. So we need them to go out and really share their experience. It's very, very important. Everything else,
yes,
It is what it is.
Yeah, no, he's totally right, of course. But yeah, the same thing. Spread the message, tell the people to see the movie, and just, because it's emotional, inspirational, and it's just a masterpiece, I think. But then people are gonna judge it.
You think it's a masterpiece?
Yeah, I think it's a
Well,
masterpiece.
that's all that matters.
Yeah, it's a masterpiece, I think.
Well, thank you both so much. And,
Thank
and
you
like
very
they
much.
said, go see it. Go see Cabrini. Share it. Share it, guys. March 8th. Go see it.
Thanks, Micah. That concludes the interview portion of our live stream tonight, but right now we have a really special treat for you. When we first started these Cabrini live streams, we showed you an exclusive clip that has not been seen anywhere else, and we had to take it down from that live stream, so it was only there for those that were live, and we are going to show that to you now. So let's go ahead and watch that clip together. Enjoy.
The problem is I have to write articles that people read.
Do people know that in America, the greatest nation on earth, rats have it better than the children of 5 Points?
I sincerely doubt that.
Then you clearly haven't been to 5 Points. Vittoria, if you'd be so kind as to get Mr. Calloway's hat.
Even Rats Have It Better, by Theodore Calloway. Over the last several months, a group of dark-eyed nuns, led by a frail woman named Cabrini, have been taking the risk of entering certain forbidding places where not even police dare to enter. To each child, Cabrini makes a promise. Soon, we shall have a bed for you.
These kids are coming home with us tonight.
They learn in English, so they can be American citizens, great ones, proud of the land where they now live. They sing in Italian, so they can be proud of the land they came from. She imbues these castaways with a dignity their parents never knew. For she believes the wounds these children bear can only be healed through love and through an education of the heart. Take the case of the little waif whose body was found upon the street by one of Cabrini's orphans. No one stepped forward as the girl's family, so Cabrini and her children claimed her as their own. Dear reader, New York is built upon the dead. Her mighty rails, her tunnels, her shining streets, all are set upon a bedrock of immigrant bone. Is this bone not ours as well? Did we not all arrive as immigrants? Do we not owe these children, our children, a life better than a rat's?
Wow, I love that clip so much. Every single time I see it, it makes me want to go buy another ticket, sit down, and watch Cabrini again.
Right?
Oh, and look, it seems we have a winner for the Cabrini merch bundle. Congratulations. We will be reaching out to you via email. And thank you all who purchased tickets tonight during this live stream. A quick reminder that the BOGO discount ends right after the stream, so right now is your last chance to get those tickets. Anyway, that clip, it's so good, and I think it's such a beautiful way to end our live stream tonight.
I agree. But Micah, this doesn't have to be the end.
Yeah, wait, what?
If you guys join the Guild, we are having an exclusive live stream after this that is the Q&A happening in the theater at the premiere.
The one happening right now.
Yeah, the one that I'm going to have you film.
Oh, that's why we're filming that.
Exactly. So if you join the Guild, you can watch this. It'll be the filmmakers and the actors just talking about their experience on the film and just giving us a little bit further
behind the scene access,
exactly.
you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, so it should be great. So how you gain access to that portion of the live stream is you just join the Guild by going to angel.com/guild. What you're going to want to do is pay for the subscription and then reload your page. Go to Cabrini, the live streams tab. You will see a Guild-only Q&A live stream.
It's fun because you get the interviews, you also, but like having them together,
yes,
you really get to see them, you know, talk about their shared experiences together. It's so different. It's so cool.
Yeah, and these people, all of these people have worked so hard on Cabrini, and each one of them individually has done so much. So it's fun to see them all come together and share that passion and share that work that they've all been doing. It's such a great cast, such a great crew.
Yep.
And you're going to love it. So angel.com/guild, gain access to that.
We're going to stop talking so that you don't miss it.
Yes, access it right
Thank
now.
you guys. We'll see you later.
See ya. Have a good night.
Bye.